Hey everyone, welcome. Let me make sure we're live for you guys. Let me try and do this and make sure it's going live here. Should be going live for you guys. I'm not seeing myself live yet, so let's see. How's everyone doing today? There we go. We are officially live. Make sure you guys can hear me and all that. Let me try and do this and make sure it's going live here. Should be going live for you guys. Okay. Let me get TikTok started. Done. And we'll do this. Okay. No music today because too many copyrights coming up. It's been crazy. The copyright thing has been nuts. And it's TikTok, you don't have those problems, but these other two networks that I'm broadcasting on right now, they have problems with copyrights. So, and it's Christmas songs, so go figure. So, hang on, get this going. Got to get the mics and stuff in the right spot. So, then the volume buttons on both phones are different. Hi, everybody. The volume buttons are completely different on both phones. So if I am broadcasting, let me know. In fact, I'm going to go one more time, make sure we are broadcasting before I get started for you guys. I'm not seeing myself live yet, so let's see. How's everyone doing today? Okay. I want to make sure we're officially live. Make sure. I don't know what's going on with this. Okay, let me go and make sure we're live. Okay, I don't trust this thing. This is today, currently live. Okay. Why is there a play button? Okay, everybody, hopefully you can see me and hear me. It was live. Now it cut me off, did it? No. I think it's this one. Okay. I don't like that, so let's see. Okay, let me wait for it to catch up a second because I want to make sure we're officially live. Okay, let me go and make sure we're live. Okay. Let me make sure because I don't know if we're still on. So hang on. It says today, currently live. Okay. Because I'm not seeing it. There's a huge delay right now. So let me see what's going on live. Okay. It was live. Now it cut me off, did it? No. Oh, good. I'm live. I'm live over there, right? So you guys got me live on YouTube? Okay. I don't know if I'm live. Catch up a second because I think I'm live. Hang on. Give me a second. I'm just making sure I'm live over there for you guys. It's Book of Face where I've had the problems. Okay, let me go and make sure we're live, okay? Let me make sure. Because I don't know if my lips are on the thing. So hang on. Let me make sure, okay? Currently live, okay. I'm going to do this again to make sure. That was a huge delay right now, so let me see what's going on live, okay? Hey, Pamela. I'm good, I'm live. I'm live over there, right? Okay, I'm going to switch over. I'm going to move over to TikTok, and I'll see you in a second. So let me get over to TikTok, get that started. We're going live. And it's holding all my stuff on TikTok. So hang on. Let me get going on TikTok, and we'll get going here. Okay. All right. Okay, everybody, here we go. We're going live. So I'm on time for once for the live. Well, almost on time. Welcome, everyone. Sorry I didn't do the bills yesterday because when I woke up yesterday, I was up till 1 a.m. on my New Year's Eve celebrating New Year's with everybody. So when I actually oh, good. What we're doing today is you're not going to have any. It's kind of sad. We're not going to have any background Christmas music because I'm not going to say which networks because I get in trouble. Hi, everybody. But when I got off live last time, both of the other apps that I'm using lit up like Christmas trees with copyright problems. So we're not going there. I mean, I like the music as much as anybody, but I forget that not everybody has the rights that TikTok has. TikTok holds all the rights. See that? Core water today. We're doing core water today. Okay, so We're still doing outlines on the windows, and we're going to be doing this thing in the next week plus the other one. But I fell in love with this thing I saw the other day. I want to get one, but I got to wait now because I have to get dog food and stuff. It's $21.95, and it's Cousin Eddie's RV, and it's a generic Lego, and I think it's made by the same people. It could be Brio, but it's like those off-brand Legos, but it works with other Legos. And I bought a Stomper, which is the Oakland A's mascot during COVID, and that was like 700 pieces, and I couldn't imagine because it was only like this big, this tall, and that wide. The pieces were like itty bitty, real tiny, thin pieces. So I'm thinking, Cousin Eddie, this motorhome thing is 10 inches by 4. So it's 611 pieces. So I'm thinking it's going to be like that elephant I built for the A's was. So I'm saving up right now. Maybe next week we'll get it. It should be perfect size for this house. So if we can get that, if I can get that, we'll build that also, and we'll have it with this house, because that's the whole point of this house. It's vacation Christmas house, right? Let me make sure I'm not in trouble with anybody over here. Superfan, Superfan, Janelle Cardoso. Okay, it's TikTok. Welcome, everybody. I do have a goal over on TikTok of collecting. What did I decide on? Oh, yeah, those Target things, 99 cents. They're 99 cents each. I'm trying to collect 10 of those Target things. You can get me to shoot at a Target. That thing was kind of cool. And give me some likes, follows, and shares over on TikTok. That would be great. Same thing over the other networks. If you're watching and you peruse by, and you see me and you kind of think I'm funny or ugly or whatever you do, and you want to give us a follow, because I own a paranormal team. We do a lot of ghost hunting. I also have a podcast, which I'm going to be starting up again for paranormal podcasts and stuff. So give us a follow. Give us a follow. Give us a follow, everybody. All right. So like I said, hopefully next week I can pick up Cousin Eddie's trailer. And like I said, it's like 600 pieces. So I suspect that it's like that Stomper I built, because the Brio pieces for that, I had to use like big magnifying glasses to even do it, because the pieces were super thin and small. Like the pieces on Lego, that would be a 5 or like this, right? Those little 5 dots on there. This was like this. It's super thin. But it's going to be cool if we can get it. And at 10 by 4, I think it's going to be a perfect size for this house we're building, so they can augment. Who just hide me? Hey, how goes it? Welcome. Good to see you guys. Hi, Maria. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we're building. Send me an awesome thank you. I can't do the awesome. I'll thank you very much for that. Okay. I can't do my usual thing when I get gifts, because of these other 2 networks. There's a bunch of copyright. Okay, I got to watch what I'm doing. But I want to thank you for every gift that you guys send me, everything like that. Like, follow, and share, everybody. Thank you for that. I can thank you for is the Heartme's. I can verbally thank you, but not like I normally would. Hi, Cindy. And I am trying to collect 10 of those dart targets, whatever that is, because they're 99 cents. So I take the cost down for you guys. Thank you for the popular. Thank you. Okay, so we're back to doing this. Again, this is going to take us a while, okay? This is more of an art project than anything else. And we have the other one. Actually, you couldn't tear that one apart if you tried. So we're letting that one dry. I just put the roof on it this morning. We're letting that one dry. Look at that. Hydration water, you guys. Core. I'm on it. So let's do this. Let me get my tray up here. I wish you guys could see what I was doing on the table, but that's not how it's working. So let me get the tray up here for you. So we got a couple hours. I'll stop around 4-ish, and then I'll go make my dinner, have my dinner, and then do my night show. But yesterday, by the time I got to my night show, by the time I woke up, I mean, I was up like 30 minutes, and then I was ready to crash back down again. So I didn't even know if I was going to do a night show last night. I finally got a hold of Kathy, my lead moderator, and I asked her if she wanted to do a show, and she agreed. So that's what kind of put me into doing a show last night. And it was fun, but I was tired. Today I'm better. So welcome, everybody. So hang out with us. Again, I do not have access to music or anything like that, okay? Because of copyright. I'm telling you, every time I think that's why they cut the sound off on this on these over here too. Well, thank you. Thank you for the hand. Thank you. All right. Kathy is the max. Yeah. So that's why I went on last night, because I was so tired, Cindy. I thought, well, I can take a night off, And then I got a hold of Kathy and to see what she thought of it. So we decided to go on last night. So it was fun. It was worth going on. But I was so tired. It's just so draggy. All right. So here we go. So far, what we completed is we're having to outline all the windows of the house. And for those of you guys that don't know what this house looks like, I'll show you. I knew when I bought it that it wasn't going to be an easy build. So what you can see right here is what we have, what we're building. Okay. Now, each one of those little yellow dots that signify the light bulbs that Clark put on the house, that's all done with frosting. So that's all going to have to be dabbed by hand to put on. So that's where we're at with it. Okay. So I'm working on the windows, trying to get the white around the windows. And then we're going to have all these, we're going to have to paint some of it gray. Like the overhang on the door, I think is gray. The steps are gray. That's what I think. Okay, it gave me gray. And then we get to start. Yeah, the shutters are gray. And then we get to start, you make little shutters. And then we get to start dabbing. So this is one of those deals where we got to build the walls first, and then paint them all up and put it together. So it's a meticulous job. It's going to look good when it's done. But I really want that Cousin Eddie. I really want the Cousin Eddie trailer. Like I said, it's a 10x4. So it's going to be 10 inches. Thank you for the popular, Kathy. It's going to be 10 inches and then 4 inches across. That's why I think it's perfect size for this. Because this house should be about this size when we're done. So it should almost be the same size. So we want the Cousin Eddie trailer. That's coming next. But I can't do it this week. Doggy's got to eat. Like my pizza. My pizza's 2 days worth of pizza. Okay. So back to our project. I'll try not to eat any of this. Be here for a couple hours. Again, it's kind of boring in the background. There's no music. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm telling you, that they even blocked the sound on Book of Face because of it. So, I got to behave. I did buy some Chibi paintbrushes for this purpose today. So primarily, like the last time we did this, we're going to be working on the windows, okay? So we got these windows done on the house. There's only about 8 windows to go only. Might as well be a million. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, dang it. I got to move my head to the right, huh? Who did that? Kathy? Yeah, isn't that cool? I got to move my head to the right so the target hits. What is this thing called? Oh, a charmer bow. It's got to be a Valentine's thing. Thank you, Kathy. So Kathy is in the chat room. So if anybody sends a gift that I don't see or anything, Kathy will thank you for it. She is a moderator, so behave yourselves. And then we got this done. I bought the super glue so I could fix the roof where it popped off. See, we got this done the other day. So essentially, we got more windows over here too. So then we have these windows we did. So we have about, like I said, let me take some of this out. See, here's the gray they want me to put on. Between Christmas trees. So we have 4 windows here, okay, that we're going to work on. Make sure I got everything. Another stray window here. And 4 windows here. So we're down to what 5 windows. Let me double check and make sure. Oh, correction. No. We're down to 6 windows. So that's what we're doing today is the windows. Hopefully I can get through them faster than I did the other day. The more I work it, the faster I'm getting because I'm getting used to working with the parts. Then we have these dormer windows. These are like the attic windows. See? Those are the ones that were upstairs when he got trapped and they open outward. And nobody could hear him when they were all getting in the car to go to lunch. And Clark was stuck in the house. Oh, did we have something else pop off of it? I got another broken piece. Hang on. Oh, no. Yeah, that's the only broken piece. This one wasn't broken. I remember now. Okay, so let's do this. And like I said, I'll have to tell stories today because there's no music. So here we go. Let's enjoy ourselves. Not the most exciting build, but to make sure I got a nice pointy brush. Which in hindsight, I should have washed the stupid brush, but I didn't yesterday. This is how I ride. I've got my DiGiorno pizza that I got to make for my dinner today. By the way, my sister's listening. That Chinese food was great. Don't know where she got it. Had Asian food on New Year's Eve. Okay, here we go. So the first dab. And at the end, I'll do my ceremonial tablespoon of frosting in my mouth. So this meticulous work. I'll move this so you guys can see. There we go. Now you guys can see. Good to see you, Pamela. Good to see you, Maria. Good to see everybody. Good to see all the networks working. But I'm not going to go through that again and get hateful notices from the network. But the funny thing is with Christmas music, and I want to say this out loud, is really, I mean, I've heard the 22 countries thing where they own the rights. But what I'm getting from one of the two networks, which I can't mention, on TikTok, is it's Russia and Belarus doesn't like Christmas music. Hi, Doc. How you doing? Doc's with us. Good to see you. But I do want to get that Cousin Eddie's camping Winnebago. That's what I want. And we can build it together. That'll take a week to build the 600 pieces like that, especially if they're tiny. If they're anything like Stomper was, if it's anything like Stomper for the A's was, it's tiny. Because think of that. 600 pieces. A 600-piece Lego, if I give you an idea of what a 600-piece Lego would be, I don't know if you guys have seen like the Death Star. There's a Lego Death Star from Star Wars. It's not being sold anymore, but they have it on their website. It's huge. I mean, the thing is like, we'll sit on a table. And then you open it up, and there's all kinds of things for the inside. That's what 600 pieces looks like if you have a Lego. Now, tomorrow I might bring Stomper in here to show you guys, to give you an idea. Because not having the Lego and doing these smaller pieces, because I know it's going to be smaller, it's going to be about the size of this. I don't know how long this is. But let's say for S's and giggles, it'll be that long and 4 inches wide. And then it's about, 3 inches high, 4 inches high. So it'll be tiny. I can guarantee you it's going to be itty bitty little pieces. Knowing what I know now. So I'm just saying. All right, let's get on with this. I will be talking a lot today. We have no music. Like, follow, share, everybody. See if we can get 20,000 likes today. And hit me up with those targets up there. I got 4 of them already? Oh my God, who did it? Thank you. Thank you for the targets. Thank you. Awesome, you guys. 6 more to go. Thank you so much. That's one thing. Like you guys over here on the other networks, I'm not like other content creators. I won't give names. But when I do stuff like gifts on TikTok, I try to keep the cost down. The low, I'll keep it down like 99-cent gifts, and then maybe the most highest price point is something that I haven't seen before. I might throw out a $3.99. But usually it's 99 cents to about $2.99 on the gifts. I try to keep it down for everybody. Because I know what it's like. But it's a lot of meticulous work doing this. And you'll see me. I actually have I have one of those lights that has a magnifying glass on it. For like those Legos I'm talking about. So I actually have a magnifying glass light for that. Some people call them crafting lights. Some people call them jewelry lights. Because people that work with jewelry have those types of lights. And I didn't even get to see Christmas Vacation this year. I finally went in there today to see it because it was free through the holidays. So I thought, well, I'll go in there. It's January 2nd, last night looking for it. And it's gone. It's $3.99. So I did not get to see Christmas Vacation this year, nor did I see Christmas with the Cranks this year. But that's okay because Disney Plus had like the Polar Express and all that. So, and then I watched The Night They Saved Christmas with Jacqueline Smith, and all that. Plus, I was watching, I was kind of focusing too on Drain the Oceans because I really like that show. I love the fact that they can take. I like the fact that they can take like computers and take all the water out of the ocean floor, and you can see what's actually down there. I think it's cool. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good to see you all. Happy January 2nd. And it's Friday today, too, huh? So that's cool. Told you I'd be on time today for the most part. And I'll be on time tomorrow for the most part. Okay, let me get this thing going here. But this is all meticulous work. Just like when I make the white lights, it's probably going to be with a toothpick to get that shape. More than likely. Do I miss having music in the background? Yes. Do I have a choice? No. I don't want to irritate the internet gods. Thank you so much for the targets, everybody. So how did everybody's New Year's go, huh? Did you guys have good celebration? I know we had a good 1,000 people with us on TikTok all night, off and on. And we celebrated for every time zone, at least viable time zones. So it was kind of a fun night. Well, this will just have to do the way it's going. I got a light. If you see a light blink on and off, I got a light going out up there. I'm going to have to deal with that. All right, that window's done. Let's do the other one now. Good to see everyone here. Over here. Ha! Look at that. The brush already fell apart. What happens? You buy cheapy brush. Cheapy brush fell apart. Figures. Oh, my chopsticks arrived yesterday, too. My chopstick training wheels. But definitely going to make it a point to get Cousin Eddie taken care of here. She doesn't want to be in there, so she's going to be complaining all day. She's had the run of the house all night. So, when I go to work, if I don't lock her up, she'll have a party that I'm not invited to. And I'll get out there and stuff will be everywhere. So I have to make sure she's locked up when I'm working, just like the cats. The cats have their big play pens that I have for them. My cats have beautiful play areas and facilities. And I can't let them out. I have 2 Christmas trees. I have 2 Christmas trees and garland hanging around the top of my fireplace. So we all know what'll happen with that if the cats get out. So they get to be in their little areas, but they're content. They've got hammocks in their areas, sheepskin hammocks, and you go in there and they'll lay in their hammocks. They love their hammocks. But it's funny at night because cats are cats, right? So at night you can hear them in that room, in their rooms, and they're banging on everything. And sometimes it's funny because you know that they have to jump across to get from I don't call it a stamp, but there's a flat thing for them to sit on. Purchase, I'll say purchase. And they have to jump like from low to high to the top perch. And like late at night, all of a sudden you hear a bang, and then you hear scampering. So you know the cat miscalculated when it was jumping. It's not funny, but it is, because you know what the noise is. And then you'll go and see the cat. The cat's just sitting there, and you can just tell with the cat they're reevaluating their jump. Cats just don't randomly jump. Dogs randomly jump. Cats don't. Dogs will go for it. Cats will sit there and do a total evaluation. And that's what they do. If you go in there after you hear that fall, that noise of the fall, you go in there and they're sitting there looking up at it going, yeah, okay, I should have gone this way with it. So it was much easier, you know. Those cats do that stuff. But I could just see them in my Christmas tree. Yeah, both trees, it would be ugly. It would be very ugly. My dog, same way. I mean, she likes to eat, like, I have a Christmas tree that looks like it's candy with all kinds of candy decorations. The dog ate it, like a good chunk of them. I have to replace them. But like halfway up the tree is empty because I took all the ornaments off to keep it for the dog. And then you got candy going up. So the dog looks at those and she's thinking it's real food, you know, and that's why she's eating it. The dog is a character. All right, let's do this. Sometimes I like to brush. Sometimes I like to just do it with this and gob it and then make it fit to make it all work right. I did get on sale. I did get another gingerbread house. But last year we did a real nice Valentine's house. So I decided we're going to just have that one for the Valentine's house. And now that certain stores are selling Valentine's candy already, cheap stores, I'll be able to get some Valentine's candy ahead of time so we could have it all pretty. I'm feeling better today. Things have gone better today for me. I'm glad. I'm tired of not feeling good. All right, like, follow, share. Everybody like, follow, share. Let's TikTok know we're live. Same thing with the other networks. Share it. Can't mention you guys get in trouble. But share this. Good to see Pamela. Good to see everybody. Hopefully I won't get a bunch of copyright claims today. Well, copyright claims used to be funny because years ago, Adobe, that with Audition, used to have free music riffs that you could use to write songs. And so I wrote my theme song to my paranormal group, my paranormal team. I wrote my theme song with those riffs. But for the longest time, when I would put my broadcast my podcast, I was getting in trouble with legal rights. And finally, where it was happening, I'm not going to say which network, finally, after explaining to them like 800 times that, hey, this is stuff that was self-written via Adobe and all this, they finally realized that there's no copyright on any of that. And so they don't bother me about it anymore. Not like they used to. I never get bothered anymore. That's why it's a shock. Like, I'd be in the middle of doing this show, and I go in there and I look, and there's like copyright violations all over it. You know, I'm just getting started on the show, and there's copyright violations everywhere. So, don't want the big boys on you. That's why the people that are broadcasting, I meant to ask them, because I know I did Disney on the other network, but I know that the other network takes a dim view on anything that they don't own copyrights to. And I've heard that, and I've seen it on some videos, that they can't use music, you know, like if they're at Disneyland or whatever, they can't use that music there. And I'm kind of, if anybody out there's broadcasting all over there, let me know. And I've seen it where it's funny as heck because they're going through Tiana's Bayou Adventure, or they're going through Small World, or they're going through, you know, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and all that stuff, and there's no music to it. Like when they opened up Tiana's, and everybody got asked to go over there, all the streamers, except me. I'm not that kind of. I'm not there to do that. But all the streamers got asked to go review, you know, Tiana after they shut down Splash Mountain and did the rebuild. And people that were going through it that were on the other network, there was no music. Hi, everybody. How we doing, Wendy? But there was no music at all when they were going through the ride. because they couldn't have it on. It was just really weird. But TikTok has so many partnerships for music. That's why when you see videos coming in that actually have music on them, and it's somebody like Elvis or somebody, Youngblood or somebody like that, that's because TikTok has agreements with all the music companies. In fact, the year before last, I think, it was like one of those cable TV channels with like, YouTube or one of the other ones, DirecTV, when they had to shut down certain channels, certain networks, because they didn't have agreements with them. And that happened on TikTok. Hi, Tim. And that happened on TikTok, too, to where all the videos we had made that had all this cool music on them, everything went silent because they didn't have an agreement. Then once they got the agreement back up and running, all the music went back on them. So it was kind of funny. But unfortunately, the other two networks do not have access to the music. But when you see like videos that are made with music over on the other two networks, they've got music set up on there. But even if it's the music you want to use, you have to share copyright with the people, with the music holders, which is fair enough, But like over on TikTok, you don't get that. How's everybody doing? All right, so it's a slow process. Like I said, so be prepared for a slow process because that's what this is. See, I've got two of these windows done on the side. See the two windows? And then I'm going to have to make shutters on the sides, on these windows to match what's on the bottom. So just bear with me. Next hour or so. Then, of course, I'll be back at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, around there, 6:45, to do my tarot card show. For those of you that don't know, I am a comedy psychic. You just don't get tarot readings with me. You get a comedy performance. And it's pretty funny sometimes. And it's pretty funny. We're on our way to 10,200 followers this week. Good to see everybody. At least I was mostly on time today for this. But so everybody had a good, I hope, I almost said Thanksgiving. Good God. Everybody have a good New Year's, I hope. Because your New Year's celebration. Christmas vacation. I can't wait to get to the other house. The other house, once the roof is finally completely on there, it's going to be like a hop, skip, and a jump to get that one done. But this one will look cool. When it's done, when it's finally done, it will look cool. With all those lights, on it. All those dabs of lights. Because essentially, like what I'm doing now, and putting these things in the little slot here for the window, that's what's going to happen all over the house. It's either going to be a paintbrush or it's going to be a toothpick where I'm just dabbing like this. Dab after dab after dab. To make the Christmas lights that he put on the house. Old Clark. Then I got to get my haircut next week. I can't handle it. Haircut and dye job. I can only take so much. Good to see everybody. Good to see everyone. Now I forgot where I was working. Oh, it's this guy. I can tell there's a hole here. But the rain stopped here for now, man. It's been really for the holidays. It's been a rainy holiday season. We never get like that for the holidays. Usually it's bitterly cold. Hi, everybody. Double tap that screen, trying to see if we can get at least 20,000 likes today or more. And good to see you. If you haven't signed up to give us a follow, please give us a follow. We do things like this. I do tarot card reads. I read a paranormal book on Sundays. I'll be taking you guys ghost hunting, psychic development classes. We do a lot. All right, let me straighten this out now. And we have a lot of fun. The night show's always fun. Got my hydration water. We're rolling right along. Be going to the big city, to the Walt Disney Museum. We'll be making a trip to the big city. Maybe San Jose, you guys might like the Winchester Mystery House. How'd you like to go there? And then they have an Egyptian museum. That would be cool. Go hang out in the Egyptian museum. I loved it. And they also have a planetarium. We have one here. I'll have to look into the planetarium here in town. I didn't know. I realized the university had one. So we'll see if we can get that going one time for you guys. Get that planetarium going. But I know the planetarium itself in San Francisco was I don't know if it's still with Steinhardt because they I think they moved Steinhardt, the main aquarium, because that's where it used to be in the building with Steinhardt and the Natural History Museum and all that. So I don't know where it is now. I've been there a while. Last time I was at a tour in San Francisco like that, King Tut's treasure had come through, and that was cool because when I was a young kid, probably about 13, 14, my brother, I told you my brother was an anthropologist. Studied to be an anthropologist, and so he took me with his girlfriend to see King Tut when it first went through, when it first went on tour from King Tut's tomb stuff, and it was really cool. It really impressed me as a kid. And then my friend and I had a chance to go, I don't know, about maybe 7, 8 years ago to San Francisco, and see it there. And we did. It was pretty fun. They had some of the same stuff that was there when I saw it, but they also had new stuff. And, new old stuff. It's Egyptian antiques, right? Understatement. It was fun. So that's why I wouldn't mind taking you guys to the Egyptian Museum, because I've been through that in San Jose. It's a nice museum. It's not a really big museum, but it's nice. What I like about it is they built in, they want to get you a feeling for what the pyramids feel like. So they built a pyramid just about like the base part of a pyramid, like after you've explored, you see on TV and the guys go down into the pyramid itself. They built like a thing like that, and so you go down on the stairs, and then you go into the chamber, and you're able to look around the chamber just to get the same view that the deceased king does. And I think they have a mummy down there. I think there's a mummy down there in that chamber. So it's kind of cool. But that place when you go through it reminds me of Night of the Museum, because even though that was like the Smithsonian, but because it's like you look around and they got like a Roman there, and you got all these mummies are there and all this stuff. And so it reminds me of that movie. Like what happens when you turn the lights on or the lights down? Do they all come out? Is it their world? All right, I got one spot there, and then that's going to fill this one. But that would be fun. So there's a lot we can do together, There's also a Dutch town. I've never been to it. I've seen people go. Other content creators have gone. But there's a Dutch town where all they do is grow tulips. And it's like going back in time to like Switzerland or wherever, you know what I mean? And they had got all kinds of stuff in there. It's kind of nice. Kind of nice to stay there. That would be fun to go to too. I've never been there. All right. So this is all right. That's not great. So that's on the targeting. And fishing, if I can get to where I'm not dizzy anymore, and won't go dribbling off into the ocean or the river. When I get back, I did a lot of fishing last year, had a ball, but it was off a dock. It was off a dock thing over here at the park, to a stock park, Stock Lake. But I wanted really to get out to Berkeley Pier, take you guys with me to Berkeley Pier, and go fishing. But with this dizziness, I don't dare go walking on some dock that's over the ocean at this point. Nor do I dare go walking on some jetty, get on some rocks and things like that. So I got to behave myself. But we'll get out ghost hunting. I've got 3 ghost hunts planned. Everything's on hold now until the doctor finally gives me clearance. But I've got 3 ghost hunts planned that I'm going to take you guys with me. So it's going to get fun here. And when we go, you won't see me as the acting psychic medium on these ghost hunts. I don't do that. I don't do the field investigations. I do readings, but not field investigations. So you'll see one of my other team psychics. I have like 5 different psychics on my team. All of them have different talents. So I call them the pros because they go out. They're used to doing those investigations. So I leave it to the professional psychics, as they say. Hi, Flying High. Welcome. Thank you guys so much. And for subscribers, that being said, for subscriptions over here on TikTok, you get 15% off, like the ghost hunt classes and the psychic development classes and private readings. If you're a subscriber, you get 15% off. Hey, we may get to start the grade today. I don't know. But it's all meticulous on this one, which is I'm fine with. We're not having music in the background, though. We'll see if we light up any more. See if we light up any more internet police. How you doing, Pamela? You doing all right? How you feeling today? I know some people haven't been feeling good. That flu's out. I thought I was getting sick for a couple days, but it went away. Thank the Lord. I had congestion. And then my throat the other night, on New Year's Eve, my throat was really scratchy. So I was starting to get just a tad nervous. Because I have congestive heart failure, so I got to watch for that. Any congestion or anything like that I get that's coming out of my lungs, I have to be extra careful. Hi, Dee, welcome. I know there's more of you watching. You're lurking outside. I know you are. You can't hide from me. So I've been reading about Stranger Things finale. Some people are kind of mixed on it, but overall, I'm not going to put any teasers out from what I've read. But overall, people are liking it. There's so many times that there's a TV show finale that's just so heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, disappointing, that people just have a sour taste after the end. And I know, being a Xena Warrior Princess fan, a lot of the majority of the Xena fans came off that finale just disgusted with everything, with the way it went down. But I think with that was a real big miscalculation on the producers' part, because what they were hoping was that, and what they had planned, and from what I'm understanding, what they had planned was to take it to the big screen. And they were hoping, they were building up on no infusion? Ugh. Oh, no infusion day. Okay, cool. They were hoping to make 3 movies, to make a trilogy. And then what happened is Lord of the Rings came out, and then it totally for the network or the production company totally blew all that out because they didn't need to run Xena anymore because of Lord of the Rings, and so the network didn't care anymore because I'm not saying the studio because they were doing Lord of the Rings at that point. However, a lot of people, there's always since it's been gone, there's always been a lot of people wanting a movie out of it, which they should. They should really get a movie because the ending, and that's what we're talking about, is the endings here, was less than satisfactory for a lot of people, and I don't know. With a character like that who had to be redeemed and all that, and she had redeemed several times, to have them cut her head off and do all this stuff to her, it was pretty bad, for the fan base. But now they actually got the rights, they secured the rights, but then nobody was interested in funding it. And again, that's because Lord of the Rings at that time was such a huge thing. In fact, a lot of the people that last season that Xena was on, they lost a lot of their special effects people and a lot of the people that were working on the show, and a lot of people that were acting on that show because of Lord of the Rings, because they all went to Lord of the Rings to do it, because that filmed out of New Zealand. So a lot of that went that way. So yeah, so it was disappointing. And so my point is that I don't know if I'll go see Stranger Things because I kind of missed out the last couple seasons anyway. But from what I'm hearing, it had a satisfying end. No major deaths, which I think, I know we all want rosy answers and everything, but I think it should have gone off on a high note, just like Xena should have gone off on a somewhat high note. But again, they weren't thinking that they weren't going to get a movie out of it because of the popularity at the time, and it backfired. So here we are, 30 some odd years later. All right, so this one's done. See, I'm getting faster on these. See that? So let that one dry because I'm dropping it somewhere like an idiot. There we go. And then we do this one. Another 4. Then we got these 2 separate windows. And then we can start getting the gray paint, or not paint, but the gray frosting, and start doing like the front steps and stuff on this house. Somehow they were able to make 3D front steps. How they did it, I don't know, but they did do it. And I can see them right there. So maybe it makes a 3D effect. I don't know. But I'm hearing really good things. And isn't it that they're not showing that like on TV? They're showing it as a movie in the theater. Is that what they did with Stranger Things? They showed the finale on the big screen. Thank you so much thank you for the target. Thank you, Kathy. You go, girl. My moderator, Kathy. Thank you so much. So yes, I promise you guys, I will get. I'm dead set on it. I will get Cousin Eddie's trailer. Good to see you, Pamela. Glad you're feeling okay today. I will get Cousin Eddie's trailer so we can have it with us. We've still got Christmas Legos to put together. That's how far behind we are. But yeah, I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons of Stranger Things, and then I got occupied by other stuff, but it was okay. Like my other friend wants me to watch all the Buffy. I don't know. I don't know if I get into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Xena's cool because if you're upset about something and you watch Xena and watch her, do what she does, then you feel good afterwards, Fantasy is a good thing sometimes. I saw the coolest table, and I don't know if it was on TikTok Shop or what it was offered on, but they had this gaming table that was electronic. I don't even know what the price on it was. And it was like the size of a coffee table, and it had like 200 games on it. So you could play Monopoly on this thing, and it was only electronic, and Battleship, and all these different games with your family. I don't have a lot of people around me like that now, but I can see my friends and I doing that do come over. But you're able to just call it up and then play, which is kind of cool. One thing with the TikTok Shop, everything on there is addictive for shopping. And now they partnered with Amazon, and they partnered with oh my God, not Temu, but the other one that starts with an O, I think, Oriental Trading Company. They partnered with Oriental Trading Company. And the stuff is just horrendously cheap. You just all you want to do is buy. I got more stuff in my save file than I have anything else. Stuff I'll never buy probably. I just put it in there just in case. Just in case the bug got at my rear end to buy it. But I did feel sorry for my cats on New Year's Eve. The dog didn't care, for the explosives that people were blowing off. But my cats, it must have been the neighbors on, that they're right next to where the cats sleep, because I walked in there and the cats were just screaming because of the explosions. Boy, I made this one crooked. Hell yeah. But as this thing comes together, it's going to look good. Once I start dabbing the walls and all that, maybe as I get the gray on there, it might look good. It might start looking, like it's supposed to look a little bit. But right now, just outlining the windows. Whoa, 5 more to go. Thank you, Kathy. We're halfway there. So it's a charmer bow. That's got to be a Valentine's Day thing they threw out there already. You know what we'll have to use for that one, Kathy, is the boing. The boing sound? That will definitely be a boing sound. I always try to have a sound with every gift I get on TikTok. Always trying to figure out what sounds to put where. And I don't know if it was TikTok or my phone last night, but you see my face like it is right now? That's what it should look like. Last night, my face was totally washed out. I don't know what was going on. It was driving me crazy last night. And it's the same lighting I use like every day. Same lighting setup like right now. Glad everybody had a great New Year. I know some people that did their resolutions at midnight and they broke them at 8 a.m. the next day. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. At least I didn't have to go out shopping, pick up food or anything. Tomorrow I have to go out and get dog food. I have to venture out to the W store and get dog food. In other words, I'm going to Wally World tomorrow. Pick up some dog food for the dog. Make my trek. And then the argument with the big Wally World store, I have a horrible argument with them being handicapped, I really got into it with them, is the store that I have that's through 6 or 7 miles down the road here. They won't let you take the handicap scooters out to the parking lot. So you have to gather all your bags and walk out with a cart or suffer. And what happens with me is I have, what's it called? I have issues with my feet where some days they go numb on me. I can feel them go to sleep when I'm standing up. And so I was in Walmart. I was at that store, and it happened. And I managed to get lucky, and I found one scooter. And I sat down on it, went through the line, and was going out the door. And the guy says, well, no, you can't take this out the door. And I said, well, heck am I supposed to put my groceries out there? And he goes, well, I don't know, but you can't take this out the door. And I said, well, I can't even stand up. Bring a manager out here. And that's their policy. So I ended up leaving my groceries. There was no way I was going to get 8 bags out with the way my legs are feeling, even with a cart, because I would have to stop and bend over and sit down at that point. Because the only way to get the pressure off of that, to not do that, is to sit down and let my legs settle down and my feet. So I left all the groceries up here. I bought them, and I took them all through for refunds right away. Customer service, told them why, and left. All right, this one's done. Let's straighten out the edges on it. I'm sure somebody from the ADA has gone after that. They must have by now. Just like Disney right now is they're going a lot of lawsuits because of their policies now. They had to tighten up for the people that were taking advantage. But on the other hand, they messed it up for everybody else like me who has what they call the hidden diagnosis. And if I go by what they have listed as far as what they okay as being disabled, I'm not on there at all. So it's really messed up. I don't qualify. That's why you won't see me go to Disney until they undo it, until they fix that. It's a mess. A lot of angry people. They've got quite a few lawsuits coming at them right now over it. And it's a lot of people too that can walk and don't understand how that policy is handled when people use it. You're not going to get it. People think that it's an excuse. Well, it used to be you get on the ride going out the exit, but a lot of people look at that as an excuse for somebody to push your able body out of line, and that's not how they work. When I have it, I have to go up, reserve my time for that particular ride. I can't go back to that ride until it's my time. And there may be people in front of me. There may be other people that reserve that time. Okay? Because we end up in the fast lane, but it's standby seating no matter what. So you end up going to either another ride, or you or the way it worked when I was there last time, or you go get something to eat and then you go get on the ride. You don't get in line. It doesn't work, and that's what there's a lot of people that are able-bodied that are complaining that they keep getting pushed out of the way of disabled people. It's not how it works. Okay? All it does is it keeps us from having to stand in line, long lines. That's all it does. 2 hours in lines. That's all it prevents. It stops that 2-hour line wait for us. And that's one of the fights where the able-bodied people are suing the disabled people suing the able-bodied. It's a big mess right now. Because the people that are not disabled don't understand how the line works. And then you had people, and the reason why they had to do it was because you had people that were taking advantage of it. Because of that, what you used to have to do, you go to the park, go to City Hall, and you talk with one of the cast members who had no medical training at all. Okay? Instead of like the park nurse, which they should have really utilized the park nurse, is what they should have done. But they didn't. So you're talking with a cast member who's had no training at all medically. And so a lot of people were getting those passes that didn't need it. And that's what caused the problem. So it's a mess right now. A lot of people can't go to Disney now. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of people that cannot go to Disney right now that were able to before because of this, the way they set it all up. And I can tell you, on the trip that I made with my friend, it was wonderful. They were so accommodating to me. Like, get off of my scooter, like, well, for Rise of Resistance, for instance, get off of my scooter as I'm boarding, just a little bit before I board the main ride itself. And then I go out, my scooter was gone. I'm like, well, what'd you do? Well, they took my scooter and drove it all around the exit for me. So it was waiting for me by the exit. That's how accommodating they are. So it was nice. But now I don't qualify, so there's no way I'm going to be going. Because one of the things is, if you're disabled and you have something go wrong, and I'm not going to say what I have, okay, we're not going to get into that. Then the idea is, especially if you're in one of those tight queues, that somebody stays in line, and then somebody has to go find a cast member to let them know that you need assistance. In my case, by the time my friend leaves to go find a cast member, gets up 3 or 4 people, it's too late. They're going to have to call in Disney Hazmat, So, I mean, it is what it is. And there's a lot more like me out there. See, with W, Pamela, I don't think it's at every W. I think it's that particular store. I think it's the particular store and their policies. That's why when the guy said that at Wally World, when the guy said that, I was kind of shocked, and I thought, this has never happened. I've been coming here for 100 years, and this has never been a problem until today. So I don't think this policy at every store. I just think they're like, these guys are going on their own, setting up their own store policy. So my big thing is I have a letter into corporate right now to see what the exact policy is on that. That's it. I have nerve issues in my feet. That's what it is, nerve issues. Thank God the dollar store over here, they have a bench like in front of the cash register area. So like the other day when I went in and I was having trouble walking because my legs the whole nerve thing started up, I was able to take my cart, just run, get up there quickly and sit down for like 10 minutes and let my feet settle. And then I was back up, went through the line, everything was cool. But I think it's individual stores with Walmart. And then the other thing with California being as like California, you'd think as far as the disabled go, there'd be more stuff for disabled, but don't be disabled, kids. That's the moral of the story. Don't get old, don't get disabled. Good to see you all. 11 those targets. See, when we do the show tonight, people give me those. I'm going to hit the boing button. But today, after I get off here, it'll be a pizza kind of day before I do the other show. best Chinese food the other night. That was great. Can't wait for to try out my training wheel chopsticks. Okay, so this window's done pretty much. Looks like a 5-year-old did it, but hey, who's counting? Yeah, the management of the store. Yeah, Pam, I agree. Made me mad. As David Banner, the Incredible Hulk, would say, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. All right, so this one's pretty well there. So yeah, once we get through these windows, we're gonna be painting the gray frosting on this thing. Now the windows, they wanted to put crosshatches in the windows too, and I'm just like, really, I could do these like with this window here, this size. I could easily do a crosshatch, and it would look good. So there's that. See, that's where I'm at. Christmas vacation. That's already almost 3:30. I can't believe it. It's going so fast. Corket. Miss Thing. If it wasn't for her, I'd be lost though. Because I have my allergy problems with my ears, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't know anybody was at the door ever. So I gotta give her a lot of credit. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. Like in Disneyland and stuff, it's okay to crack down on the people that are taking advantage of it. But the problem is when you just set it up for 2 or 3 types of people to be able to access it, that makes it bad. It's sad. They'll be taking down the Christmas tree at Disneyland on Saturday. Comes down. This holiday season for me, I wasn't into Christmas till like 2 weeks before the holiday. And usually I'm at Christmas on November 1st, I just wasn't into it this year. So my lights are staying up for a while. Not the most exciting build in the world, is it, kids? Hi, Christian. How you doing? Good to see you all. Good to see my face a real color. Awesome. We're halfway on my goal. Gonna try and get my contacts done next week, I hope. At least the eye exam for my contacts. Gonna try and get that done next week. That way I'll have temporary contacts until I get my glasses in. If these break, I have no way to have eyesight at all. So I'm gonna try and get to my contact lens exam and get a couple sets of temporary contacts. That's assuming I can even wear contacts anymore, because you never know. Something on my eyes might have changed and I can't wear them anymore. It's been like a year since I've worn any. But like I said, lots of things coming up to do, and we will be doing them, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. In fact, to give us a couple extra minutes doing this today, I might run in there and put that pizza in the oven, and then come back in here. Or not. There we go. That's done. That's pretty much done. All right, let me straighten out the sides on this. Yeah, at least they're going faster. The first 2 or 3 I did initially where the front door was took forever. Thank you, Kathy. But for people on TikTok and you guys over here, I know you're watching. I will be back at 6:30 p.m. Pacific tonight to do live tarot card readings, free readings for people. So if you want to come and join us, that would be cool. Wow, that one went on pretty straight. I don't know what I'm doing this one. I wonder. I was impressed, and it dawned on me that's not the one I'm working on. Oops. Can't imagine heating this house, this vacation house, all these windows, unless they're like triple paned. Can't imagine heating it. That's a lot of windows. All right, so there we go. All right, so this one's done. So now we got one more to do on here. See, we got one more to go. But, yeah. I got that crystal that broke. Now that we have some clear nights, I can go recharge it. So I have to put it out for 3 nights and do a crystal recharge. And then a friend of mine here on TikTok told me about glue they have for that. And it'll glue seamlessly to glue it back together, but we'll get that crystal recharged. I have a green crystal that somebody gave me for Christmas, and it was a protection crystal. And I was doing this the first time I did this work. I put it down on the ground, and when I went to pick it up, it not only had fallen over, it was broken. The end of it broke off, and I mean this thing was like horrendously thick. And if it had fallen on the floor, it probably would have dented my floor. That's how big and heavy and thick it was. But it was just cracked, and then I found out that some negative energy, something protected me, and all the strength in that crystal. That's why it cracked. All the strength got taken out of that crystal. It did its job. So I'm trying to find a way to preserve it because it was a beautiful crystal. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to do a recharge and then get some glue for it, glue it back together, and see if I can recharge it and protect me again. Whatever that was must have been a humdinger. Whatever came after me. And doing readings like I do in the evenings, it could be anything. Any negativity that's near somebody. And I'm not talking about like somebody's loved one did it. I'm saying that, like right now, I can tell you right now, any of you out there, you probably have 3 or 4 deceased people around you and don't know it. Some are family, and some have just come with you because they like your personality, or they like something about you. Okay, but we all have people around us constantly. But again, you could be going up to the supermarket, and something will attach to you. You don't know it. Till weird things start happening in your house, and you're wondering why it's, why. Then it turns out there's some negative entity that's attached itself. So I could have picked something up anywhere. You know what I mean? And I might have had it for a while because when I think about it, after that crystal broke is when I started getting into the Christmas holidays. That Christmas mood. because I've been feeling down, and maybe that's what was causing it. Me to feel negative. This one's kind of cockamamie done. See if I can straighten this one out now. Then we're down the last two windows. Never thought we'd be there. Wow. A couple days ago, I never thought we'd be anywhere near there. If only I didn't do this like a 5-year-old, it'd be all right. There we go. But like I said, it's going to be this is meticulous enough, but when I have to physically start putting on the yellow lights on here, that's when it's going to get really anal and meticulous to do. And there's also, when this house goes together, there's like an inner and outer frame. I was looking at it. But at least I got started on time today. The last couple times I come in here, I haven't been on time at all. Christmas vacation. Just know the dog hates you guys because I'm in here and she's not. So she doesn't like you guys right now. Okay. Too many frosting boogers we got to fix. Got some frosting boogers here. There we go. Yeah, you're a frosting booger too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got one little tiny spot. Oh, I just touched that and blew